right, Shannon, do you agree with Favre?
Yeah, no, please.
No?
Man, the guys play 1 or 2 games. We're anointing these guys too early. Skip, clearly he's physically gifted. The kid's about 6'2". He can throw the ball 70 yards. He once threw for 734 yards against Oklahoma. He had 819 total yards. So clearly he can throw.
I think Baker had like 800 yards.
I'm like,
But
wait
go
a
ahead.
second.
But Baker had a guy, I think Baker was hurt by his running back having for like 300 yards running the football. Is his arm talent, is it Marino, Aaron Rodgers? I don't think so, Skip. He has a big arm. Plenty of guys have big arms. It doesn't necessarily translate. But you have to look at the system that he's in. You look at what he has around him. He has 2 guys outside in Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins. He has a guy inside that can work the middle of the field and get down the seam in Travis Kelce. He has a running back that led the league in rushing who can also catch the ball out of the backfield. Yeah. But I think the most important thing that he got an opportunity to do, he had an opportunity to sit, wait, and learn. And not enough of these guys coming out of college get that opportunity. It used to be, Skip, they have a veteran guy there. The guy, you draft a guy in the first round or the second round, he stayed on the bench for a year or 2, got an opportunity to learn, see how to conduct himself, how to practice, how to meet, how to prepare, and then he took over and boom, you took off. Now they just throw the guy in there and feed him to the wolves. I mean, if you look at it, he didn't take his team to the playoffs his senior year, did he? One time in 3 years he was there, he went to the play. He went to a bowl game.
Yeah, went to a bowl game. Yeah,
but
the playoffs.
The bowl game. So obviously, you put that kind of talent around him. I mean, there are not very many quarterbacks. Tom Brady ain't got that talent. Aaron Rodgers don't have that kind of talent on the outside, Skip.
That I thought you meant
no.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers has that kind of talent, but I'm talking about around him.
No.
I don't know if there's any other team that maybe being with AB and Juju and Le'Veon's not there, so even being that.
I think Fitzmagic might have it. He's got a lot.
Yeah, because OJ. But I'm saying though, but Skip, so you look at what he has, but even after we see Deshaun Watson, okay, Deshaun is it, and we see him struggle a little bit. Dak, Skip, bad Dak, he struggled a little bit. Skip, we normally would have to wait at least 2 years before we could have a definitive one way or another if the guy good or not.
Well, Deshaun Watson, I love him, but he had a couple of rough games.
Yeah. So can we just see the guy? I know he got 10 touchdowns and 1 pick.
Yeah.
Can we just let him play a little bit more, Skip? As good as anybody ever?
I am with you on that conclusion. I believe Brett Favre sees a lot of his young self in this kid.
I do agree.
Because they're right out of the same mold. Because Brett came in with a huge arm, some athletic ability. He could run around a little bit. And you want to talk about a lot of riverboat gambling? That's all he was. He was just spitting it out, man. Yes. He would try anything at any time. He drove those coaches crazy up in Green Bay, Holmgren and Gruden and all that. Mariucci and Andy Reid was there. And they would all just sit back like, what are you doing? Oh, touchdown, right? That was the young Brett Favre. And so he's seeing this kid operate the way he used to operate.
Right.
So on arm talent, does anybody have more? I think Aaron Rodgers has more arm talent than this kid does.
Yeah.
Velocity, I don't know.
No, Aaron he doesn't have the kind of arm strength this kid has.
But arm talent, like you say, every platform, every throw. Obviously, Aaron can make every throw accurately.
Yes.
Do I see the deadly accurate throws from this kid? Again, I watched him a lot at Texas Tech because he's fun to watch.
So fun.
I mean, they just throw it all over the lot under Cliff Kingsbury.
700 yards is a lot of yards.
It's a lot of yards, but he went 13 and 19. They didn't have very good teams, but still, is he a dynamic leader who can just lift the whole team to big wins? He's not that guy.
Right.
And he threw interceptions in 21 of his 32 college starts. So he's just going to throw some picks. Right. And I'm pretty sure, I'm knocking on wood for him. I'm not trying to wish this upon him, but I think he's going to have some high interception games before this year is over because you know what this league does.
Yeah.
It studies, it finds your Achilles heel, and it says, aha, what if we do that to him? I don't know what it is yet because maybe he doesn't have one, but if he does, you don't think they're going to find it?
Oh, yeah, they are. But because they have so much, because you have Tyreek Hill who can flat out fly. It's almost impossible to play man coverage against him.
Yeah.
And then you have Sammy Watkins on the other side who's a big body guy that can run. And then you have Travis Kelce, who I think is the second best tight end behind Gronk.
Yeah.
And then you have Kareem Hunt.
Okay, can you start bringing pressure from everywhere? Can you throw kitchen sink at him and rattle him?
Well, Skip, you better not miss Sammy Watkins or Tyreek Hill. Because you miss Tyreek Hill, he going to hit his head on the goalpost.
All of them. I mean, every one of them.
That's the thing. I mean, they're so talented. And this kid is in the perfect situation. Now we understand. Because when the trade came in, you like, Andy, you traded up for him? He probably would have been there. Now you understand why they traded up for him.
Yep.
Now you understand why they were willing to move on with Alex Smith after one season.
Yep.
He's offering you a glimpse, giving you a glimpse inside to see what Andy saw.
Yeah. But Andy saw a whole lot. And you know how Andy is, once he says, that's my guy, he's going to do everything in his power to prop this kid up and make him as great as he can be, as fast as he can be. Andy's really good at this, and he's Andy's guy. Andy didn't inherit him. Andy wasn't forced to take him. Andy didn't have to fall back on him because of injury. This was his guy. This was his future, and it's working beautifully. And Andy's like proud papa now. Right. And so is that not a great place to fall into?
I mean, he has a guy. I mean, think about, look at the guys that Andy coached. He had Donovan, who can make plays with his feet. Yeah. This kid can. He had Mike Vick. Now, Mike Vick is probably the closest thing to this kid because of arm talent. Mike could throw the ball 80 yards. And he got there in a hurry.
I mean, this kid can't move like
No. Nobody can move like Mike. Yeah. I mean, Mike was a dynamic, a unique talent in that way. But let's just watch the kid. Let's just watch him a little bit.
So I love this kid. We had him on the show. He's fun to be around. He's fun to talk to. He's lively. He's charismatic. He's just pleasant. He's always upbeat.
I've talked to him. Yeah.
He's fun to be around. Andy's enjoying life again. I don't know if Alex Smith was that funny. He's a good guy, but this guy's just fun to practice with. And think about his background. He's mixed race, and his father was he lasted 11 years as a middle reliever, big league. Yeah, and he was pretty. That's hard to do. Right. So you're inheriting this legacy. You kind of grew up around big league locker rooms, right? Yep. Does that not help? Because every time I've seen some kid who grew up around stars, man, it just makes you feel like I can do this. Yeah, I'm good at this.
It makes you want to do it. I remember when my brother got drafted and going in Green Bay and looking around like, man, this would be cool to be, be here. And I'm like, okay.
But Shannon Sharpe knows Sterling did this, man. Yeah. I can do it.
Oh, yeah. I can do this. This dude came out. I don't have to look at somebody else. Here's the guy that came out of my house.
Yeah.
And left Glenville, Georgia, and came to the NFL. He did, because I've always thought
I mean, when you stepped on the training camp field as a 7th-round draft pick with Denver, and there are 120 guys out there, you're still thinking, I'm Sterling Sharpe's brother. Right?
I didn't know they. I thought once you got drafted, they had to keep me for at least a year. I didn't know they could cut me. I'm like, they could cut that. Yeah, they could cut you. I'm like, oh.
Oh.
I was like, oh. I was like, ooh.
When did you figure out they could let you go?
Yeah, but you don't think Dan Reeves is thinking his big brother?
Yeah, and Dan said, he had the athletic ability, but Dan said, well, we questioned who did he play against. He put up astronomical numbers, but playing at Savannah State, how complex was the offense? How good was the talent he's going against? But I always felt, I mean, when I went to these bowl games and I'm looking around, I'm like, I'm better than you. You went to Notre Dame. I'm better than you. You went to Nebraska. Yep. I'm better than you. You went to Ohio State, Michigan. I'm like, I'm better than you.
Yep.
And we'll see.
There you go. We'll see.
It's a confidence thing. And I think that is something Mahomes have. And you guys said you've had him on the show. He does have that charisma. We're not talking Baker charisma. It's not the same kind of confidence, but there is something there.
There's no chip on shoulder. He's just a fun kid. He's up.
And he knows he's good. Yeah. And it's going to be fun to see. We'll give him